pray for people. Sure, no problem. That's part of my job as a pastor, right? I'm supposed to pray for people. It should come as no surprise to you that once I was offered the title of pastor, my opportunities to pray, both in public and in private, grew exponentially. It was almost like someone had attached a name tag to my shirt that said, "Hey, don't forget, it's my job to pray." Still, I can't tell you how freeing it is to know that when someone approaches me with a prayer request, and I feel compelled by God to stop what I'm doing and pray for them, right then, that people actually welcome and expect that kind of connection. Well, one of the other awesome things about being a pastor is that it makes praying for everyone super easy. Pray about joyful things. Yep, done. Pray for the poor and the sick. You bet, easy praying. Pray over offerings? Bam, done. Pray for my enemies. Words just flow out of my mouth. Done, done, done. If only you all were pastors, so you could experience the ease with which prayers just flow from the pastor's spirit to God. For those of you who can't yet catch the sarcasm in this video, let me clarify a few things. It is a privilege to pray for one another. I haven't discovered yet a bad time to pray for someone. We are called to pray for our friends, for our community, prayers of joy, prayers of concern, prayers even for our enemies. You know, now that I think about it, I can't even count the number of times I felt that same nudge or pull to pray for someone before I became a pastor. How many times did a friend approach me and share a prayer request, only for me to offer to send prayers later because I wasn't the pastor type? Or how many times did a friend or an enemy pop into my mind and I wondered to myself, maybe I should pray for them, but what difference does my prayer make anyway? Prayer is a means of showing love. We show genuine love for one another when we pray, and we show love for God when we express trust in God's love for us through prayer. Prayer connects us to each other and helps us to humanize those for whom we pray. We feel even more connected to them as we remember them and ask for God's blessing or help for them. But prayer isn't always easy. Sometimes prayer is hard, like when we find ourselves praying continually for healing or help, but we don't sense the results for which we were hoping. Prayer can seem difficult when we burden ourselves with finding the right or the pretty words to pray in the hope that we won't sound silly, rather than genuinely offering our own voice to God. Prayer is hard, even for pastors, when we're called to pray for our enemies, for those who have harmed us, or for those who are hard to love. And yet, Jesus reminds us that praying, or even hoping good things for people we like, is easy enough that even those we label as enemies do that. What do we learn about each other when we pray? What do we learn about ourselves? What do we learn about God's welcome and care for us and our enemies as we use our own voices to connect with God and with them? As I consider how my faith might continue to grow into a shareable faith, prayer helps me to connect to the heart of God, a God that loves all people and calls us into relationship with God's self so that we can love all of our neighbors, the wonderful neighbors, the strange neighbors, the enemy neighbors, and even the pastor neighbors. So I'll be praying for all of you.